The dynamic between Scylla and Bronya, I love these two. That's why I'm keeping them in the same team. They're gay. Bronya, there's a part in the story, I'm not gonna tell you guys. I mean, you know, it's not really a spoiler, but there's a part in the story where like Bronya's talking about her feelings and stuff, and then Scylla is like, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't worry, you're blah blah blah, good stuff. And Bronya was like, oh my god, thank you, Scylla. And then Scylla started fucking blushing. She started fucking blushing. They're gay. So I'm now Trailblaze level 36. I also finished everything. I finished everything. I finished all the story quests available for launch for this patch. I got to the point in the game where it basically told me, please stay tuned for updates in the future to find out what happens next. Like, oh my god. But okay, let me give my honest thoughts on Honkai Star Rail, because I feel like I'm qualified to talk about it now that I've played through pretty much all of the content. It's been a week, so I've had enough time to formulate my opinion properly. Keyword though, opinions. This isn't like a proper objective review of Star Rail. This is very much gonna be subjective. I'm very much aware that I'm still in the honeymoon phase of the game, right? Like it's only been a week. Unavoidably, I'm gonna have to compare this to Genshin at some point, but you know. All right, the good music is amazing. Music is so good. I love the music in this game so much. I won't spoil it, but there's a fight in the game a little later on that's just really good, and the song that plays in that fight is just chef's kiss. It elevated that whole sequence to astronomical proportions. There's an NPC over here who plays guitar. When you're anywhere else in town, you can hear the theme song, and then as you walk closer to the person playing guitar, it transitions away from the regular theme song into this arrangement, and it's so good. I love that little detail. I love just walking around the towns here. Sometimes I would leave the game on just to listen to the music. I spent so much time in the Hurt the Space Station just like doing stuff that I feel like it's my home. I'm gonna go on a tangent. I love how the Hurt the Space Station is basically just a massive SCP storage facility. Like there's a conch shell that tells dirty jokes, and a toilet that fucking teleports you to a random location if you sit on it. I don't know, it's funny to me. When I first found that toilet, like just in the corner of a room, and then I sat on it and flushed, and it teleported me to another part of the space station. It's like, what the fuck? What just happened? Yeah, that was just a tangent. Anyway, I really like this game, in case it isn't painfully obvious. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, animation. As expected of Holyverse, the animation, the character designs, and overall visuals of the game are obviously top-notch. Holy shit. I especially like the light cones. Look at that. I love how the light cones look. I love the art. There's one light cone that I really like. It has Tingyan in it. This one, look at that. That's so fucking pretty. I'm so glad. I'm actually so glad that they went with this like craft essence system for the weapons instead of like traditional weapons like in Genshin Impact. I like this approach better because we get to see good art, and usually the art has lore tied to it. Lore, very cool. Speaking of lore, the lore is super interesting. Like the concept of eons and paths is so cool to me, and the way it's used in the narrative and how it seeps into gameplay through the different classes of the characters, very cool. I love the eons. I love the eons and their paths. Their designs are so cool too. I love how like a lot of them are cosmic horror type shit, and their designs are very abstract. Not all of them are humanoid. I love it. Speaking of characters, they have so much personality, especially the main character. I'm so happy with how they did the main character in this game. I was going into this expecting like the main character to be another boring individual, right, with no personality, but with the occasional character moments. But the main characters in Star Rail are so fucking expressive. They're Florida mans. They're fucking insane. They eat garbage. I just love them. I love them. Genshin MC rarely talks. Oh, that's another thing with the main character here in Star Rail. They talk a lot. They actually have a lot of voiced lines. You will hear their inner monologue a lot during quests. You know, it's nice because it's very refreshing. The main character doesn't feel like a self-insert character. You know, they're their own character. Speaking of characters again, Clara. Fucking Clara. I'm so glad. So obviously, we're used to having the baby model, this, in Genshin, And then the teenager model, so like Shangling, Official, but yeah, the teenager model. This is the first time we're finally having a new model like in between, like a 12-year-old. We have a fucking 12-year-old. Look at her! She's a baby, but not a baby. It's good to have some variety in the body models, you know? Usually we have a baby and a teenager, now we have something in between. Now, all we need is an old, scruffy, bearded buff guy. All we need is a buff guy model. Because I swear, Hoyoverse, if Varka isn't a massive bearded dude and is another pretty boy, I'm gonna perform an acrobatic pirouette off the deep end. But yeah, Clara is a step forward. Okay, my next point, this is not an open world game, and I love that. I actually really like the fact that this is not an open world game. The game still has areas, like massive areas, where you can explore and look for chests and stuff, but it's a lot more of a streamlined experience. This game didn't need to be open world. It's focusing a lot more on the narrative and the gameplay, the turn-based gameplay, and I like that. It doesn't need to be open world, but the environments feel massive. Look at the distance. Look at the distance. You can see like there's more of the city. Even though you can't explore it, it helps to make this feel like an actual city compared to Mondstadt, compared to like cities in Genshin. This, just looking at this is already so much bigger. Even though you can't explore all of it, it feels massive. Every time a new region was released, I remember when Inazuma was released, I was hoping for a massive city to explore. But like, how many houses, how many buildings are in Inazuma? Like 20? Like 20 buildings in Inazuma or something? Like, how many people live there? Mondstadt? How many people live in Mondstadt? Springvale. I'm pretty sure like 20 people live in Springvale. Don't get me wrong, I love Mondstadt. Mondstadt is my home. But this is an actual city. It feels massive. The Xianzhou Laofu in Starskiff Haven. Look at this shit. Look at this place. Look at this, feels lived in. There are so many people doing stuff. So many NPCs. It's massive too. Look at the Starskiffs. The Starskiff is basically like cars. The cars of this planet. There are so many just moving around, just going about their day. This feels like a fucking city, bro. The part that made me realize that the environments in this game feel massive, because when I was playing through the game, I didn't notice until I got to the underground, and then I looked up. So you're in the underground, you're thinking like, yeah, okay, I'm underground, that's cool. And then you look up, and you realize how fucking deep you are underground. You're actually really deep underground. And it made me realize the scale of the environments in this game are massive. The world feels alive and lived in. It's very, very, very pog. Coming from Genshin, I think, made me like analyze the game a lot more than I would normally have. Like if I played this game without ever playing Genshin, probably wouldn't have noticed any of these stuff. But because I was comparing it a lot to Genshin in my head, and it made me appreciate all the little things that Star Rail has been doing, like the improvements they've done. Obviously, they're taking a lot of things they learned from Genshin and applying those changes into this game, which is very cool, very cool. But okay, here's a fun fact. Sino's voice actor, like he started recording lines for Jingyuan before he started recording lines for Sino. Whack? Crazy, right? Yeah. What was I talking about before that? NPC variety. Yeah, NPC variety. Like, obviously a lot of assets were still reused and modified from Genshin Impact, but that's just game development, right? It's kind of unreasonable to expect them to make like completely new assets from scratch whenever they make a new game. That's just a huge waste of money and time and like other resources. It's kind of dumb if you don't reuse assets. But the way that they reused assets, they changed it enough to make it like unique to this game. Like, I think I've mentioned little baby characters. Let's look for a little baby. There's a little baby. So even though the base is very similar to Genshin's, you can see in the face it's different enough that it stands out on its own, right? All right, what else am I gonna talk about? Gameplay. Okay, oh my god, we're hitting the gameplay part of the review. So, you guys know how Star Rail is played. You have a basic attack, a skill, and an ultimate, right? Basically 3 moves. You have 3 moves. And I knew this before the game launched. I knew that you only had 3 moves, and because of that, I was worried that gameplay would be too simple, but I ended up liking the simplicity a lot. It still has depth to it, and you can strategize like when to use your abilities when to manage, like how to manage your skill points. And I know there's like a lot of people saying that you just spam the ult whenever it's ready. That's not the case. In a lot of situations, you might want to hold off on using your ultimate. There's also like the order in which you use your ultimate to maximize damage output. There is a lot of strategy involved, especially in the like harder parts of simulated universe if you're under leveled. But we'll see. I do have my concerns that towards the end of the game, once you've leveled up your characters, once you've got like optimized artifacts, that a lot of the fights are gonna turn into like stat check fights. Hopefully strategy remains in the end game. I'm not there yet. My characters are still just level 50 and stuff. In terms of enemy variety is very good so far. Different areas have completely different enemy types, and I think that'll only keep getting better as new planets or areas are added. Speaking of gameplay, simulated universe. This is the best part of the game for me. In terms of gameplay, this is my favorite part of the gameplay. Probably because it reminds me of Arknights, because Arknights is a similar game mode. But simulated universe is so fun. There's so much replayability in this. This is gonna be the end game content that you're gonna probably be grinding and doing a lot. And I genuinely hope that they continue to update simulated universe. If this is it, if it only goes up to World 6, I'm gonna be pretty sad. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna update it with more stuff, because like each of these worlds basically are based off of zones in already existing planets that you can explore. So like Yarilo 6 and the Xianzhou. So probably when they add more areas in the future in the game, in the base game, they're gonna add more worlds in the simulated universe. I just love the lore tied to the Eons. I love how they represent the Eons as not fully humanoid. Okay, let me show you guys. These are the Eons. Look at their designs. Look at the design of Yaoshi. This is such good design. And also like the blessings you can get can make you so fucking busted. Especially, okay, so I've been playing a lot of the hunt. I've been getting a lot of the hunt blessings combined with Sela. You can basically have like 10 turns. The enemy can't move. It's so fun. The different playstyles you can do, wacky playstyles. Look at this. This is Ix, the Nihility. This is the Eon of Nihility. It's a fucking black hole. Land the hunt. Aha, the elation. Like what even am I looking at? It's the abstract designs of the, because these are the equivalent of gods in this world, right? In this universe. So obviously a lot of them are going to be abstract and not completely humanoid. Fully the remembrance. I love their designs so much, and I love the lore tied to them. I just really like simulated universe. Very cool game mode. I'm glad they added it. I wish Genshin had something like this. Oh, and the writing, obviously the writing. The story, oh my god, the writing coming from Genshin, this is so much better. I actually give a shit about what the characters are saying most of the time. In Genshin, I'm skipping a lot of the dialogue because I don't care. A lot of it is filler anyway. A lot of it is Paimon regurgitating the same thing that characters already said. I use this example a lot because I fucking hated it. So Yae Miko tells you, the traveler, that you wanna go back into the plane of Euthymia in front of the statue of the omnipresent god. And then Paimon goes, so Yae Miko wants us to go back to the plane of Euthymia in front of the statue of the omnipresent god? But that's suicide. Like, oh my god, Paimon! I know! It pissed me off so much. And there's so many parts of the story that's like that. There's so much! So I'm glad that there's none of that here. There's none of that here so far. The writing is so good. The characters are so funny. They're so endearing. They have so much personality. I love it. But let's see. Honkai Star Rail is still relatively new. Let's see if they can keep up this level of quality as the game advances, as we get more story quests, as we get more character quests. We'll see. And the last positive thing I have on my bullet points here, they're very generous with the rewards. You can get free 5-star light cones in the free-to-play shop here in Herda's store. Light cones, 5-star weapons, and they're pretty good too. Genshin would never give you free 5-star weapons. And not just here, also in the Starlight Exchange. Look at these. These are fucking light cones you can get in the gacha banner. No, these are actually things you can get in the gacha banner. And you can get them by saving up the Undying Starlight, which you get from pulls. So it's very possible to get one of these as free to play, and they're so good too. I really want this one for Bronya specifically. This one's too fucking good. But yeah, they're very generous with their rewards. I was able to get like 3 5-stars already, even though the gacha rates are shit. Okay, we're going into the negatives now. Gacha rates, still bad. They're still really bad. Still shitty. They tried to alleviate the problem with the gacha by giving us this, where we're basically guaranteed a 5-star of our choice after we hit 300 pulls. It's nice to have that, but it still doesn't fix the issue of the gacha rates being absolute crap. Still pretty bad. But they make up for it in this game by giving you a lot of rolls. It is just the beginning though. The amount of rolls you're gonna get, it's gonna slow down. Especially for me, now that I've finished all the content. Yeah, pace yourselves, guys. Don't be like me. Don't finish the entire game in like a week. Kind of bummed that they didn't add elemental reactions. They have like an element system, kind of, but it's only for weaknesses and for breaking the toughness bar of enemies, which is kind of sad. I feel like that would have added a lot more depth to the game. Like, it would have added another layer of strategy to the already pretty good gameplay. It definitely would have elevated the gameplay. An extra voice line or two for character gameplay actions would have been nice. Their voice lines are really good, especially like I've been playing on the EN dub and it's really good. I enjoy it. I haven't like gotten completely tired of any of the lines yet, but they say the same thing again and again every time you use your ultimate. They have some variety when they do their normal attack or their skill, and when their turn starts and when they get hit. But when they use their ultimate, it's the same thing. They say the same thing again and again. Personally, I haven't gotten like super tired of it yet, but it would be nice if there was some variety, if I heard something else other than "time to twirl" from Herta every time she does a follow-up attack. It would be nice if we could jump. This is such a minor, pointless thing, but it would be nice if we could jump, even if it serves no practical purpose. Like, it's just fun to jump in video games, and I feel like a lot of people agree. Another negative in the game, and this is, again, this is a very subjective review. It's not an objective review. Why the fuck is Tingyun not a 5-star? Why is Tingyun not a 5-star? Look at her. Fucking look at her. She looks like a 5-star, man. Her animations, her splash art, she's so pretty. She's not a 5-star. See? Everybody thinks she's a 5-star. Everybody thinks she deserves to be a 5-star, but she's a fucking 4-star. I know her being a 4-star makes it easier to get her, and like for that, I'm grateful. I got 2 copies of her, which, you know, very, very happy. But if she was a 5-star, her abilities would probably be better. Not saying they're not good. They're really good, actually. She's kind of like the Bennett of the game. She's very good at buffing characters, but if she was a 5-star, she would be even better. She deserves to be a 5-star, I think. She deserves to be a 5-star. Hoyoverse, you missed out on an opportunity to make a character that a lot of people are gonna spend money on. She was a 5-star, the game would break. I don't know about that. Bronya kind of does the same thing that she does, but a little bit better. And Bronya has a lot more utility. I think Bronya is the better unit. So if Tingyun became a 5-star, she would probably be on par, or if not a little bit better than Bronya. So she wouldn't break the game completely, but she would definitely be a must pull. What else? What do I not like about the game? Oh yeah, it's a gacha game. Gacha games are bad, guys. Gacha games are predatory. You probably shouldn't be playing gacha games. Gacha games, no good. Gacha games, bad civilization. Very unpog. But as far as gacha games go, this one's pretty good. Too late for that? Yeah, it's too late for us. But for anybody who might want to consider getting into gacha games, don't do it. Gacha games it's gambling. It's gambling. Gacha games are gambling, and you know gambling is regulated for a reason, but gacha games aren't regulated. There's no regulation for gacha games, but it is gambling, which is it's very dangerous for young people to like get into the habit of spending money on video games like gacha games at a very early age. I feel like it should be regulated, but you know, I generally also hate any kind of like energy system in video games, but it is a gacha game, so it is what it is. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about the game. It's only been a week. I did complete all the content, but still, it's only been a week. We'll see in how the game progresses. We'll see how it goes. Someone's a fan. I am. This is probably my second favorite gacha game right now. Second favorite gacha game that I'm playing. First is still Arknights, but it's good. It's kind of hard to top Arknights for me, just because of what Arknights means to me. But it's very close, and if future updates make the game even better, then I will say this might be my favorite gacha game. Make this game very good, and I will love you, Hoyoverse. I already kind of do love you, but I also kind of hate you. It's a love-hate relationship, but I really hope this game improves over time. Yeah. My friend basically said that this is what FGO fans wish FGO was, and I totally agree with that sentiment. That concludes my very subjective review of Honkai Star Rail. It's very opinion based. Nothing I said was objective, I think. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, I'd like to thank you so much for giving it a watch, and if you enjoyed it, give the video a like, it would really help me out. And subscribe to the channel maybe, if you want to. I also stream on Twitch, so come say hi. You can ask me about Star Rail related stuff and I'll answer to the best of my abilities. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. See you guys next time. Bye!